Good morning, everybody. I've been up for a couple hours, laying in bed. Well, I kind of do that all night long, but sitting and thinking and thinking and thinking, and then it leads to another thought, and leads to another thought, and leads to another thought, and then I'm like, okay, let's just turn on the video. Although I'm kind of out of the space of what I was in before, but we'll see if we can get back into it. But I was having this really weird thought of if somebody was falling off a cliff, or even a little kid that got too close to the edge, or something like that, and having thoughts of if someone else was like the Flash and they could just sit and run and go get that person, but what if it was too late and they didn't stop them from falling off the edge? And okay, so now you need Flash to hurry up and jump over to the other side and deliver to the kid to the other side. But then I'm like, but what if they get the kid there, but then they fall, and maybe it's big rapids down below, or maybe it's who knows what's down below. I don't know. It might not be water, but and then what if that person starts to fall because Flash can't fly? So what would you do in that instance? Okay, you're a superhero, and I know, Flash could figure it out or whatever, but I mean, as a person, right? I know this is all just conjecture and whatever, okay? This is just me thinking, and who knows? There's a reason I'm thinking about this. I don't know, okay? It doesn't just come up out of the blue. Things don't just come up out of the blue. So then I'm like, okay, what could you do if you take the spirituality part of that, take the superhero part out of it, and what would you do? You would start to believe that everything is one and we are all the same, but not just every person is the same. Every tree is you, every bush is you, every snake is you, every spider is you, the air is you, the water is you, a rock is you. And don't get me wrong, okay, I know all this, just like we know a lot of things. Is the belief there already? Could I save myself in this instance? Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, let's just keep going with the thought, right? So if it was me and I'm falling in the air, what would I start doing? What would I start thinking? I think that I would just be like, okay, I am the air. So if I'm the air, what does the air do? The air just floats, right? So then you just start floating, right? I mean, that's one thing that you could think about if we're all one. If we're all one, maybe you could call a giant eagle or dragon or something to come help you. I don't know. I'm not saying there's not other things that are in this realm that we haven't seen, because who knows? I don't have a clue about anything, right? Just because I haven't seen anything and people say that things aren't real, and um I don't know. Who knows? You don't know. I don't know. It's all conjecture. It's all anyway. So I'm just like, I'm thinking about that this morning. So I'm like, I'm closer now to really believing that you could really do something like that. And then I started thinking about the Wonder Twins. Showing my age now, I'm sure they probably came out before me anyway, but the Wonder Twins on the Super Friends, Wonder Twin power activate, and they would form, one of them would form like a ice waterfall or something like that, and the other one would change into some kind of animal. I feel like, I don't know, it's been so long. You're talking about 45 years since I probably watched that. So I got to thinking about that, and then I got to thinking about shape-shifting. So if you're falling through the air, why can't you just turn into a bird? Right? We're all one. We've watched so many shows and movies and different things about these things, and it's like, okay. Would we have believed any of these kinds of things way back? No. But you can kind of sort of see if you come from a spirituality point of view. And if you are God and we are all one, and the bird is me, and the tree is me, and the air is me, and I can be anything that I want to be, then really, you could you? Could you turn into something else? I mean, I suppose if we're going towards being light beings, the cats are sitting here staring at me, they're dying to jump up here. If we're going through this process of becoming a light being, and what does that really mean? You know, I don't know all the way. I mean, you can watch movies and I can listen to The Great I Am and, you know, whatever is flowing through that doesn't feel like the me that's been me my whole life, you know, whatever. The inner me, the inner self, the knowingness, the your God self, whatever. We've been through this. Whatever it is for you. But it just your thinking mind stops you from so much. The mind, it's the monkey mind, right? They say you should listen to your heart instead of listen to your mind. Well, I say don't listen to either when it comes to this 3D matrix. Let's just listen to your soul. Let's listen to, God, okay? God, if you want to say God, Jesus, you know, whatever. But for me, it's just the big, great I am of everything. I mean, it's the trees talking to you, whatever. Who cares? It's everything. It's the cats. I think these cats don't understand me. It's the strangest thing lately. It's like Dr. Dolittle. I will say things to them and they go do what I say or whatever. Like, I'll give you a for instance. You know, they're laying on the bed with you, right? You get up and you go to the bathroom or you go cook or whatever and you come back and you're like, you know, you're going to have to get up because they've done moved, right? They've gotten your spot because they like your spot where you sit. And I'll say, you know, you're going to have to get up because I need to sit there. And they get right up. Not every time, but, or I'll say other stuff to them. I'm like, I know you didn't even, it was funny because, Mom was having trouble with her phone the other day and she couldn't hear anybody. And she called for a couple days, you know, that evening we were texting back and forth, obviously, because she couldn't hear me. And, don't mind the cat. I hate it when that happens. I get out of this. Texting back and forth. She couldn't hear me. The next day, she called and she still couldn't hear, but she was going to go down. She's got Spectrum, so she's going to go to Spectrum and have them, you know, look at it and maybe get a new phone or whatever she needed to do. But Scott was standing there and she was talking and I was talking and it was like a normal conversation. And remember, she couldn't hear me. I can hear her, but she can't hear me. And Scott says, can she hear you? And I'm like, no, she can't hear me. She said, and Scott was like, it sounds like you guys are talking to each other. I said, yeah, we are. Telepathy. It's telepathy. It's whatever. I know it happens. I know we're doing it. You know, you used to do it off and on before, right? When you live with someone, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your whatever, twins do it a lot, right? Cousins, people that hang around together, they have telepathy together. They think about each other. They know what's going on with each other. This is a normal thing. You know, we've seen it our whole lives. But now we are seeing that it's just going on everywhere with everybody. You know, it's getting very interesting. I mean, I know you guys may not be seeing all of this and all of you guys aren't going through all this, but you will. Anything and everything that I'm talking about, you're going to go through and you're going to do. I don't care if it's today or 10 years from now. Everybody is going to go through all of this same stuff. We're all the same person. We're all one. I mean, it's nobody's better than any other person. It's, you know, when you're judging people, you're judging yourself. You know, we all have to go through the same things and let go of all the same stuff. We have to let go of what we think people did to us, you know. Anyway, we're all one, okay? So I just wanted to kind of go through this thought process with you, because usually I don't do a video when I'm in the middle of my thought process, and because it doesn't really work out as well, because you get out of this you're kind of in this different place. Um, I mean, I can sit in it all day long and feel like I'm in this other. It's different. It's just very different than what you've had the whole time. But once you start talking and talking to people and thinking and whatever, it just kind of gets you out of the great the great I amness of it. You know what I mean? And some of you might understand what I'm talking about. I know people that like to meditate with mushrooms and things like that. So you might understand that, or people that are, if you're really, if you got some good weed, you know what I mean, and it transforms you to a different place, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that without having to do all the other, not that I'm saying go ahead, do all those different, mushrooms. I've heard mushrooms are cool. I heard that's if people say if you want to do something, then you should do mushrooms. That's the best thing to do. I don't know nothing about them, and I don't know anything about them. Um, but the other stuff, I don't believe marijuana. Oh yeah, all day long, knock yourself out. Smoke weed. I don't care. But anything else, I tried cocaine once when I was younger, and I think I was 17, 18, something like that. It was we freebased it. I think that's what it was called back then. Uh, Horrible, not horrible experience, but enough to scare me where I would not ever do that again. So, I don't think anybody should be doing any, I don't know about peyote, the Indians, what was that on, Young Guns? That was so funny. Lou Diamond Phillips and, Kiefer Sutherland. Scott and I joke about that all the time. Kiefer Sutherland, she's my flower. She's my flower. I don't know how he said it, but he's so great. I freaking love him. He's great. Um, so I don't know, peyote and any of the other things, and whatever. If it's man-made, okay, knock yourself out. If it grows in the ground, knock yourself out. If you got to make it in a lab or you got to add stuff to it or whatever, no, don't do it. Mm, don't do it. I don't, if God put it on the earth and it grows in the ground, like wine, that's another thing, whatever, grapes. I mean, I guess you got to make stuff and do stuff with, that kind of stuff. But, they said Jesus turned the water to wine, so wine must be okay, right? I mean, when I first started meditating, and when I say first started meditating, I mean I meditated off and on throughout my life, but never really got anything out of it, so didn't really continue to do it. So I'm probably like a lot of people, right? That we we only continue to do what we see the instant gratification about, right? We're all about instant gratification. That's just instant. It sucks that we are like this. It just sucks. Um, but I remember, I don't know if I've told this story before on video, but I remember Mom had a friend that did a meditation group in the church, in the Swedenborgian church in Urbana. And for those of you that know the church, you know that it's just this beautiful stained glass windows, and it's just huge. It looks like a big castle. Um, and you're supposed to be closing your eyes and doing this meditation, but as I said, I never got anything out of meditating when I was younger. It didn't do anything for me. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel any different. Nothing, just nothing. Nothing. And back then I didn't know anything about guided meditations, and you had YouTube, and so maybe I would have done it back then, maybe I wouldn't have, but I wasn't meant to, so who cares? We'll move on from that. But we're in a circle and everybody's got their eyes closed, and I don't know what the meditation was or whatever, but I opened my eyes and I saw this big giant 8 or 10 foot circle, blue circle, that was just kind of moving on the walls in the church. And I'm like, but to me, when I see things, even back then, it wasn't unusual. Like it just felt normal. So that's why I say in another reality, we're already seeing all these things and all this stuff is going on. So it's not like it's abnormal. Yeah, we get scared when we see shadows and things out of the corner of our eye and stuff like that because we're not used to it. We watch these scary movies and we're programmed to be scared of everything. Programming, 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 programming. Shit, fucking shit. Um, but let me take a drink. Then I shouldn't be holding it. Yeah, we're watching that now, aren't we? Um, shoot. I hate that. It's like you get out of this other space that you're in. Um, I'm just gonna go back to the blue ball. Okay. Yeah. So we got done with the meditation and I told mom about it and she said that she always feels a big angel in there. And I'm talking about this was in the 90s, okay? Um Early 90s, 1990, 91, 92, 93. I don't know. Early 90s. And I said, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Like, these things are kind of normal for us back then. Like, we're whatever. You can say we were a little strange back then, but now we're really strange if you want to say it." And then I want to say 10, 15 years later, for some reason, I'm looking at pictures about the Swedenborgian Church online or something, and I'm Googling it, and I don't even know why. Maybe somebody told me something about it. Like an angel being there, like a big giant angel that stays in the church or something like that. So anyway, I don't know why I was online, but there was pictures online, and one of the pictures was this couple that's coming out of the church after they got married, and there's like a blue light that's shining out of the church on them. So I'm like, okay, there's proof that's like online. It's not just woo woo. I mean, there's actual pictures of this light. So you can say a giant angel hangs out in the church. You can say a something in another dimension. You can say a Palladian. You can say whatever you want to say because I don't have a clue what it really is. But I know that it's cool. I mean, I saw this big giant ball that was just hanging out in this church. Like, now I know I should start walking up to things and really seeing if I can see them and looking at them and not being so like, wasn't that I was scared. I mean, I wasn't going to get up in the middle of this meditation group and go walk over and look at it. And what if I did get up? Maybe I wouldn't have seen it anymore. You know what I mean? I'm always afraid that if I stop looking at it or if I go investigate it, that it's just going to disappear on me. And it didn't on mom. I mean, the gnome was still there, so maybe I should start. But I've been that person. I know there's all kinds of things. Since we've moved into this apartment, I've seen all kinds of things happen. It's just weird shit, like, and you probably noticed it your whole life, but now, the more you wake up, you're like, is that really, did I? So now I know I just have little mischievous things that go on around here, or it's me doing things in another reality, but it's coming through in this reality, because sometimes I think I hear things that is something that I would be doing, but I'm not doing it at the time. Yesterday, I heard somebody scraping ice, and it was early. Like, I mean, there was nothing going, there was no one. And I'm like, I swear I hear something. Now, this morning, I look outside, and it looks like what it should have looked like yesterday morning if somebody was scraping ice, right? So it's like that. Or it's like one day I heard it sounded like somebody kept lighting a lighter. You know what it sounds like? And then a little while later, I'd hear, and I'm like, Scott, do you hear that? And he's like, what? I said, it sounds like somebody keeps lighting a lighter, like if they were smoking out of a pipe. And he's like, no, I don't hear that. Well, hello. We do it all the time, so I know what it sounds like. But we weren't doing it at the time. So I'm like, so it's like it's like two realities are kind of, maybe three, maybe four. I don't know. It's just weird. I can't explain it. I just want somebody to. We need a group. We need a group of people. And, we need to all get together and talk about these different things when they're going on. And maybe we can. I don't know if we're supposed to figure it out. Who cares if we really do figure it out? Because it is all about awakening. So, like I said, it's all going to be happening to everybody. If it's not happening to you right now, it will be happening. So, prepare. But if you really want things to happen that are different and interesting, then you really got to figure out how to wake up. And that's for you, again, for you to figure out how to wake up for yourself. I it's about you. Again, there's so many guided meditations on YouTube that are great. Sadhguru has a great Kriya meditation that he does a couple different things in it. And the first part of it is you just sit there, and he says it, but you can say it in your mind or you can say it out loud. But it's great because it's just for 5 minutes or however long. It's just, I am not the body, I am not the mind. I'm not the body, I'm not even the mind. I am not the body, I am not the mind. And we don't do it all the time, but I try to do it once, twice a week. Sometimes we'll go without it, and then we'll get back to it and do it every day. I mean, it's whatever is resonating with you in that moment. It's so great. And then Sri Akashna, he's got two that I really like a lot. One is the energy portal. And the music is a little loud on it for him talking, and so Scott doesn't like to do it all the time, but I still like it, and it's so powerful. It's great. But my favorite one is the weight loss video, and it's not for the weight loss part of it, although it does help. We lost when we first did it, this was 3 years ago. We did it for 6 weeks, and we both lost about 15 pounds. Now, that wasn't the only thing we were doing. We were also doing honey and lemon and pink salt in water before our meals, because couple of different reasons. One, honey, warm honey, like tea, but I didn't make tea. We just use a smidgen of water, like if you're taking Theraflu and putting it in water, just a little bit of water. Honey, okay, honey and lemon is fine. Once you add the pink salt, I haven't done that for years. I don't know. Maybe we'll go back to it. But honey helps you lose weight if it's warm, okay? If it's cold, it will help you gain weight. Now, I hate this because anybody who drinks the Arizona green tea with the honey in it and likes it in the refrigerator, yeah, it's going to help you to gain some weight. So I drink it lukewarm, except for in the middle of the night, because like when I get really hot or whatever and I need something cold to drink, then I might have it in the refrigerator, and then it's whatever, screw it. I do what I want. How's Cartman do it? I do what I want. If we don't worry so much about the things that we're doing, we manifest our own reality, right? So if you're trying too hard to lose weight, then you're not going to. If you're not so worried about life and what's going on with life and how you look and how people are, and if you just start going with the flow, I mean, when I was going to the gym all the time when I started in my 30s, and I went all through till I was probably 50, right? We're going to start going back, though. It wasn't about not wanting to do it. It's just about I was so sore and didn't think I could do it. Now I'm like, my mind is such a powerful thing before. If my mind could block all the pain that I had before, then my mind can get rid of all the ailments that I have, right? I finally realized that. I realized that I am such a strong person and that I can take so much pain, mental and physical. And if I am that strong, then why can't I just change my reality? So, I started fixing my body. Whatever. I mean, it's a slow process because, as I said, I don't have the full belief like some people do. Sadhguru's got a story. I think I put it on here on Facebook. He's got a story. I don't know if I caught the whole story because I didn't listen to this video. It's not the exact same one that I saw a couple years ago. But he talked about, I don't know if he was playing soccer or what he was doing, but he hurt his ankle. I don't know if he sprained it or fractured it or what he did in the middle of this game, but he just started believing that he could fix himself and heal himself, and he did. And there's other stories. There's something else in there that he talks about too. So, um, so the mind, it's a powerful thing. You can fix yourself. You can. I don't know what I was talking about. I hate it when I do this. It's just go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Whatever comes up is go with the flow. If you don't get out of my face. It's going to start happening. All of this is really going to start happening. If you just simply decide to take the, I don't know, blue pill, red pill, I don't remember what pill it was, where Keanu Reeves started waking up. If you just start, okay, the weight loss meditation, that's what I was talking about, wasn't I? Yeah, so 15 pounds in 6 weeks, and the pink salt is a good, pink salt's just good for you, period. I don't even cook with regular table salt anymore. I only use pink salt in the kitchen now. But it's a good antioxidant. You know, they got those pink salt bathrooms and all those, not a bathroom, but whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. All these places that have the pink salt. So all these three things, the honey, the lemon, everybody knows that lemon is good for you, obviously, right? If you didn't know, you know now. Honey, lemon, and pink salt. They're just, they're really good for you. So we would just a smidgen, like I said, a smidgen of water, 1 teaspoon of honey, either, a squirt out of I looked for my tea because usually I have the lemon in it. But anyway, or a couple squirts out of a lemon, whatever. I think I had a lemon, one of those lemons you buy, you know what I mean? I think, and I would just squirt like a couple squirts, 3 squirts. Like I made it sour. So, I squirted that shit in there. But anyway, yeah, 15 pounds in 6 weeks. And before that, I couldn't lose weight for shit with the thyroid problem and stuff that I was having. And, I'm 50 years old now and I just was having issues, and you succumb to the 3D matrix and I'm getting older and I can't lose weight and yada, 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 yada. No, the mind is a powerful thing. So, the weight loss video that Sri Akashna does is just, it's great because he does things also. He starts with breathing, and find meditations that have breathing in it, or in Sadhguru, he does the ahs. Sadhguru, he does the I am not the body, I am not, let me see, I keep skipping, don't I? In the beginning, it's I am not the body, I am not the mind. And he does that for a few minutes. And then he does, well, what are you doing right there? You're clearing your chakras, right? So, right? So that's what I say. When you're singing, when you're singing to songs, you're singing to the song because you want to go along with the person. But you can just do notes, because really holding out the notes is what you want to do. That's going to clear the chakras. So, do you feel it? Do you feel it when you hold a note? Do you feel it starts to get kind of powerful? You feel this different inside of you. It feels like, I can't explain it unless you feel it. I just can't, but ooh, you know what I mean? Whatever. Okay, so he does that, and then he does some singing, and it's just a great Kriya meditation. And Sri Akashna, he starts with breathing, but he does a lot in this video. So you're basically doing ab work, because as you're breathing in, you're pushing your stomach out. And he says that, right? Like, push your stomach out. And then as you're breathing out, you're sucking it in. But when I do it, I just freaking push my stomach like if I was trying to make it explode, because I feel like when I do that, it just like pushes out this baggage and any excess little. So no, it's kind of like if you're pooping, but not, you're pushing from your stomach, right? And then when you suck in, like if you're holding your stomach in, if you're trying to take a picture, you don't want anybody to see your fat, but it's that girl down the street or that gorgeous Ken doll and you don't want anybody to see how fat you are, whatever. So you suck it in all the way to your back, right? And now your stomach is in your spinal cord. So I do that when he's doing the slow breathing, because he starts slow. And as he's talking and you're breathing, he's telling you to let go of any thoughts, negative thoughts about yourself. So you're doing this mind work too, right? You're breathing and doing all of that. Let's see what time we got here. 30 minutes. I didn't think it went past 30. Well, that's weird. Usually it cuts me off. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. Whatever. And then he has you do 2 breaths with it. So then when you're breathing in, it's twice, and breathing out twice. So, but you do the same with your stomach. So push out twice as you're breathing in with your stomach, right? And as you're breathing out, suck it in twice. So suck it in, then suck it in. Suck it in a little, suck it in a lot. That's what I do. Breathe it out a little, breathe it in a lot. So, you're doing this ab work, right? So after you've done that for 7 days, you feel like you've done sit-ups for 7 days or crunches for 7 days. I mean, even a couple days, really. If you don't do any kind of exercising and you're not the person that does anything, you might feel it after the first day. You're going to feel like you've been doing abs. So it's a wonderful video. And then he has a dial that he has you visualize yourself in a mirror. So let's say this is a mirror and I'm looking at myself and I see what I have on. Okay, I see I have my shawl on and I know I got my nightgown on underneath, whatever. But this is the way I see myself if I'm looking in a mirror, right? So let me look at myself in this mirror and see myself. And now you have a dial that's right next to that. And as you turn down the dial, you see yourself differently, 10, 9, and I do different things. I can visualize I'm in different sizes. Like, I go from a 16 and then down from, when I get to, the dial is on 6, I might be a size 12 or an 11, or it might be weight wise. Okay, I weigh 188 pounds. And then, when I get down to 6, I might weigh 170 pounds, whatever. I've done those. But the other thing I will do sometimes is, as I'm visualizing, okay, usually I have a shirt on or something like that, I see that shirt getting bigger on me, or the nightgown or whatever I'm wearing, the clothes that I'm wearing, they just start to get bigger as the dial goes down, because you're visualizing and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, right? And you're visualizing that you are getting thinner, right? So anyway, it's just a great video. But as I said, it's not just for losing weight. I don't do it for losing weight. I just do it because it's such a powerful video and it helps me to release baggage and feel differently about myself and start to really love myself. He's just a really great person. It's, when I say find people that resonate, it's really about their energy and something in their energy you need. I'm not going to say it's because they vibrate higher than you, because I don't know that. And I don't know that, that's why I watch people, because I feel like they vibrate higher, or maybe they vibrate the same. Or I feel like sometimes people that vibrate lower, you need to be around, because you have to, maybe they're just activators and they have to activate something in you. So I'm not going to say that anybody is any better than anybody else, because I don't really give a shit, because I'm not any better than anybody else. And I don't care who you are. The Dalai Lama ain't no better than me. Okay? Nobody is any better. I don't care what you did in your life. I don't care who you are. Because guess what? We're all the same person. We're just playing, what are we? It's like just being actors in a movie. We're playing a role. We're doing what we're supposed to do in that role, right? So we don't make mistakes. We're just playing a role because we're supposed to help someone else activate somewhere else. Maybe in this lifetime, we're supposed to just be shitheads because we're supposed to make someone else help them to awaken. And if we weren't shitheads, I mean, I'm sorry, if you didn't get molested when you were younger, you wouldn't have this nervous breakdown. And now you're this saint, right? Saint, who knows what happened to the saints, and terrible shit. What's the March? St. Patrick's Day. Wasn't he he wasn't a slave, but they took him over to I don't know. Was he Scottish and they took him into Ireland and then, or vice versa? I don't know. Bad things have happened to a lot of people for a reason. I'm sorry. A lot of bad shit's happened to me. It is what it is. It was supposed to be like that. Whatever. When you can get to the place and quit saying, poor me, oh, why does this always happen to me? And why did this happen? This is why it happened. This is why. Because you're supposed to wake up. And you're stronger than that. You don't let it break you. You figure out what you're supposed to do to help yourself wake up. So if it's watching guided meditations, that's what you do. If it's sitting in the dark, talking to your inner self, that's what you do. If it's listening to tones and then your inner self comes through. Whatever you can do to start listening to your inner self, that's kind of where I started this morning. You know, I always say this, they say like Jesus take the wheel and whatever. And I'm like, I don't need free will. What do I need free will for? I don't want free will. But now I think of free will differently. I don't think of free will now as God controls me, and if I didn't have free will, I'd have to do everything God says. No, now I say that free will is, I don't need free will because I need my inner self to come all the way out. So you come on all the way out, girlfriend, because you can just take the wheel and you can lead. And I do mean that. Why do I need to be this 3D person that I've been? Why? Where has it gotten? I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, my life hasn't been terrible. When they say loved and lost, I've loved so many people in my life. It's been so great. Now, when you're going through it and you're going through all the shitty things in relationships, no, it didn't always seem so great, right? And I still have stuff that, but you know what I realized? I'm like, oh my God. You watch these movies where there's three best friends usually in the movies, or at least two best friends, and one best friend went down the road and had tons of kids and had the family and whatever, and then you got the other best friend that's successful, and or they're just by themselves, and they seem happy to be that by themselves, and whatever, and they never really had relationships and stuff. And then you've got the other best friend that's kind of in the middle, right? That's in the middle. I think that's true to life too. And in the movies, they're kind of jealous of each other and they want to switch places and whatever, but all the things that we go through put us right here in this moment at this time. So if you're miserable right now because you're 40 years old and you never went out and you've been married since you were 20 and you didn't think you got to experience a lot of stuff and be single and date people and all that, it's bullshit. Don't be jealous of that. It's bullshit. The grass is not greener. And if you're lonely right now and you've been lonely for the last 20 years, and you haven't had a mate or whatever, the grass isn't greener. It's not greener on the other side. Be happy that you don't have a mate that's driving you insane. And if you need some companionship, go hang out with your friends and talk to your friends. And if you don't have any friends, go get some. I've been searching and searching my whole life. I feel like ever since I was young, searching for that perfect mate. And then when Scott and I were together when we were younger, I met him when I was 15 and he was 18, and he was just a really cool boyfriend. He'd write me poems and get me little things, and he was very thoughtful and, whatever. So, but by the time we split up, I was 16, probably going on 17. We were together probably a year and a half or something like that. But then what you realize is you compare other people to that person. If you get a good one in the beginning, it really sucks for all the other ones, because then you're comparing, well, why don't you do this? And why don't you treat me like that? And I needed attention because I didn't love myself, right? And these men are not giving me enough attention because I need my attention from my own self, which I didn't know that. And not that I needed constant attention, but it was reassurance. I needed a way to be reassured that these people loved me, and they were not reassuring me. So it was like attention, attention, attention. So a lot of women or men or whoever, whatever, I'm sorry, I'm just being like this. I'm just saying my own point of view, but a lot of people will just go out, and I'm not saying have sex with everybody and everything, but when you care about somebody and whatever, the type of attention that you're trying to get is you're just trying to get love. We're all just trying to be loved. And I realize that now, and I knew that before. When I got a little older, after Carlton and I got divorced and stuff like that, so 35, 40 years old, I started learning a little bit about myself, but not nearly enough. I still didn't realize that just because you feel really close to a guy doesn't mean that that you're supposed to be having sex with them. I mean, yeah, it's great and all that, but sometimes you're just really meant to just be friends and to have really great friends. And men and women can be really wonderful and great friends, even if they have a crush on each other. You just don't cross the line, because, you're not in a relationship for a reason at that moment. And it's probably because you need to work on yourself. And as I said again, who knows who we really want or what we really want if we don't know ourselves, right? So the grass ain't greener. Don't get in a relationship if you're not in one until you know who you are. The grass is not greener. Don't get out of a relationship if you think it's going to be better on the other side, because it's not. Because it's all about you and what you're thinking about yourself and who you are. Don't make any rash decisions right now, because these energies are so powerful and so helpful. If you just put one foot in front of the other, right? So, what else can I say? I really got off topic. But yeah, that's what I was working through this morning. If we are everything outside, if you're the leaves, and I mean, how cool is that to really, really talk to the trees and talk to the animals and know what they're thinking and be like Dr. Dolittle, and you can say that it's weird. I mean, I talk to the trees. I haven't heard them talk back too much yet, but I expect that's coming. They tell you to talk to your plants all the time, right? It really helps them grow. So there's so many things that we have no clue about. No clue. And you think you know, because it's been handed down generation after generation, all the bullshit. And you think these things are true and what's going on is really true, but it's just you got to start meditating. You just got to start. You just do. I mean, you got to do everything else too. You know what I mean? If you're a religious person, I mean, I believed in God and Jesus and everything all my life, right? I just have a different take on it now. I grew up Christian, but Christian is Jesus is the Son of God, and God is the all-encompassing everything, right? The only difference is now, Jesus is our brother in the 3D matrix, and God is all of us. We're just playing a part. I just wonder if it's all consciousness, right? One consciousness. So to me, it's like God is thinking in his mind like a writer and writing a script, and we are just doing it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a thought. It's like when you have a fantasy, right? It's all one big fantasy. That's all this is. So we're all God, and God is just thinking, and this is just one big fantasy. So when you start wrapping your head around that, or did you watch Supernatural? When God was writing Dean and Sam's life, I forget when they found out about that. I thought, what the? Because I thought like that anyway by then. Because I went back and watched it later. I quit watching it because it got boring. And then when they were getting towards the last seasons and stuff, I went back in. And so we had many seasons we watched it from the beginning, because Scott had never watched any of them. So by the time they were ending, then I was already, meditating. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. God's just writing the script, and we're just doing what he's writing. But at that point, I thought that it was still, it wasn't all one big great I am, and that we were doing it and we were in charge of our own selves and we could manifest anything and do anything we want. So, but now my thought process is a little bit different. So you change. The more you meditate, the more you awaken, you change your whole thought process about things. So it doesn't matter whether I believe that there's some great being that's over me or I am the great being along with you. What does it really matter? Who cares? We can sit and debate over that. Who cares? That part of it. The most important part is that you love yourself and you love everybody else. That's it. So when you can get there, who cares if you believe there's some great being out there that created you or you are the creation? That doesn't matter. It's all about love, right? It's all about love. I love you, you love me, we love the world. And can you imagine it if everybody in the world just thought like that? If we just love each other. And that's not about sex, right? It's just about love. I can love you without having sex with you. I can be totally in love with you. I love all these men that I had in my lifetimes. I still love them. When you say, you know, everybody's got a special place in your heart, even when you split up with them, even if you're mad at them, they do. You still love these people once and you're going to love them forever. We love you because we're all trying to get back together. It's all about love. Right? So anyway, I don't even know. This is what I do. So you guys are just hanging out with me when this is what I think in my mind when I'm awake all night and all morning and not sleeping. And this is what goes on. So I was laying in the dark for hours and I just thought, well, let's just turn the video on. And now it's getting light out and that's cool. I mean, it's all snowy and stuff out there. It's chilly, but I don't have anything else. I mean, I could talk about stuff forever, but you know, you guys let me know if there's any subjects or anything. I can make videos too of certain subjects if you guys comment. All I do is just go with the flow. Okay, love you. Have a good day.